Are they recording, or do we need to give them a little more time?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good? Okay. Good morning, everybody. I would like to call to order the City of West Palm Beach Special Magistrate hearing. Today is May 4th, 2022. Let me be the first to say May the 4th be with you. It is Star Wars Day. Please silence any cell phones that you may have so they don't interrupt the proceedings. That will be appreciated. I do need to swear in city staff who will be testifying, and if you're here for a case and you're going to be speaking to me about the case, your testimony also needs to be sworn. So if you're going to be testifying about any of the matters on today's agenda, please stand if you're able, and I will swear everybody in together. Thank you. Do each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you very much. You can have a seat. If you're a respondent here on a case, when your case is called up, please come forward, and you can stand at the podium to my right. The way we will proceed with all the cases is that I will first hear from city staff. There will be testimony about the case. There will probably be photographs or other documents that may appear on the monitors. You'll have an opportunity to look at those documents as they are shown. Once the city has concluded its presentation and made any recommendations on how the case should be disposed of, I will then come over and hear from you. That'll be your opportunity to tell me anything additional that you feel is important about your case. If you brought any photographs or other documents that you want me to consider, that will be the time to produce those. Once I have heard from both the city and respondent, and everybody's told me everything that they feel they need to tell me about the case, I will, in all likelihood today, enter an order that resolves the matter in some form or fashion. There may be a few cases, in addition to the sign-up sheet, where we have some city staff that have to be called up first so that we can get them out of here and on to the rest of their day. So we'll be taking those cases along with the sign-up sheet cases first. So with those introductory comments, let's go ahead and get started.
First case, number 183021 Pinewood Avenue, CE 22030278, number 183021 Pinewood Avenue.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Attilio Belisle, Inspector for the City of West Palm Beach. Property was initially cited on 3/4/22. Property was cited for front and rear structures, additions being occupied without a permanent source of water. Notice was sent via regular mail, certified mail, posted at City Hall, and also left with an individual on site. The property does not have a permanent source of water. The city is deemed it an unsafe structure, and a permanent source of water needs to be obtained within 24 hours. Or the structure shall be vacated.
Inspector,
Yes.
do you have record in your file that an affidavit of posting was executed and placed in the file?
Yes, an affidavit of posting was.
Can you just clarify, in conjunction with the photographs that we're also seeing, whether this is one structure or two structures that you're speaking about?
There is several. There's at the time there was an RV that was being habitated inside. There at the time of the initial inspection, there was individuals living on the property without a permanent source of water in other rooms of the home.
So it's the RV and the home that constitute two structures? Is that what you're?
Yes, because it was without wheels. It was on the ground.
Okay. And the photographs that we've been seeing, do those accurately reflect the observations on the property that you made?
That was that day, that current day.
Okay. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
Thank you. Those will be made part of the record. I have one quick question before we come over to talk to the respondents. Can you explain the difference between Code Section 202.11 parens 10 and parens 6? The descriptions appear to be almost identical, but there are two sections. I just wonder if you could tell me what's the difference between the two code sections.
Special Magistrate, it's my understanding that there's technically, substantively no difference. However, they both constitute the same violation. It's just a way to capture both code sections in an abundance of caution.
Okay, so the notice of violation that I'm looking at now, that actually has the text of the code sections. Let me just take a look at those real quick. Whoa, 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 whoa. Go back. Okay, yeah. Okay. And I understand that it can be in violation of both. I just wanted to see the text of both code sections since it's looking very similar on the paperwork that I have. All right, so the city's recommendation here is to the extent these structures continue to be occupied, they need to be vacated within 24 hours and remain vacated until such time as the appropriate water supply permits are obtained.
A permanent source of water needs to be obtained with an established water account with the city of West Palm Beach.
Okay, and that's through the city?
Yes.
Is the health department involved with this at all
No.
at this point? Okay, it's just strictly a city-issued permit?
Not a permit, just a water account.
Oh, they just need to open up a water account?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So if 24 hours comes and goes, property remains occupied and they have not obtained a water permit, what is there additional relief the city is?
No.
I'm sorry, Inspector, it's hard to see you because there's a glare, but can you describe, are you able to respond?
Yes, the current structure cannot be habitated inside of without a permanent source of water. It'll lead to an unsanitary condition. The property remains with people habitating inside of the property that creates a very unsanitary condition.
I mean, I guess the question is, are you asking to have the ability to abate
Yes.
this, whatever that means
Yes.
in terms of, okay, gotcha.
Special Magistrate, in addition, Monique, can you bring up the red tag? Inspector Belial, was there a red tag issued as well in
Yes.
conjunction with this case? We're seeing that up on the screen. Is that the red tag that was issued in this instance?
Correct.
Special Magistrate, the city would also like to submit as evidence a copy of the red tag.
Thank you. That is, all of those documents will also be made part of the record, as well as the original documents cited by the city attorney. Okay, anything else from the city at this moment? Let me come on over and speak to the respondents. Good morning, ma'am. If you could tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about what's going on with the case.
Good morning, how you all doing? My name is Monica Lewis. The address is 3021 Pinewood Avenue.
Yes, ma'am.
Pinewood Avenue. The gentlemen came on my property first off, one day without my permission, looking for a dog, falsely saying they were looking for a dog, so they came on my property. That way, I had no trespassing signs on the property. There was no dog there. They came in, I was told they were opening up doors and stuff like that. Then he came back and said that I was confiscating water, and I explained to him I wasn't confiscating water. I have water. I bring my own water in. He asked me if I was taking water from the people next door. I said I don't know them like that. I'm not stealing water from the people next door, and then he asked me where I'm getting my water. I said, I bring my water in, or I go to my mom's house and we take showers, whatever, but I have water that runs through my faucets from my tanks. And then he already put those things on my window before he even checked my water source. And so he asked me if he could come on the property and see where I was getting the water, where my water was. I said, no problem. So I brought him in and brought him back. And he also said that I had people staying on my property and all that. I don't. My family stays there. He said, a lady said that she lives there. I could say I live with him. She doesn't live on my property. She didn't have the right to let him on my property because she doesn't live on my property. She
Only let him on there because of that dog.
yeah, she only let him on the property because he said he was looking for some dog on my property, which was a lie. Anyway, so after I brought him on and showed him that I didn't have water, I said, look, you know, I'm not taking water from the people. He saw a water hose going towards their house, I guess. He said, there's a water hose right there. So I picked it up and it had a spray nozzle on it. I said, see, this is not going to their house. This is a water hose that's going to my house right here. So after that, we talked, and he was like, you need to clean up this stuff. You know, during COVID, we know people let things get out of hand, which true enough. So I said, no problem, I'll get all that cleaned up. That weekend, I did exactly what he told me to do. I started cleaning up. I have pictures of everything I cleaned up. Now, there was a thing on the back behind our house, which he has on there, which I don't know why he equates it to me. And I explained to him the railroad people came through there, and they dumped their concrete and their beams or whatever they were doing on the railroad back there on the back behind my house. So this is stuff that's been behind my house. I've cleaned up behind my house before. I even had to clean up a dead body behind my house. I had to call the police for that. You understand what I'm saying? So when he came and he said what he said and asked me to clean it up, he said, so it wouldn't have to go any further. We won't have to do any violations as long as you get the work done. I did all that. I have pictures. I couldn't.
Let me stop you real quick. Do you understand that the only reason that we're here today has to do with the water supply to the property? That in terms of picking up trash or cleaning up, that's not before me today. Do you understand?
Okay, no, I didn't. Well,
The only thing that's before me today is a code enforcement case that alleges that the property is unsanitary because there is water without there's no water account at the property. There's no proper potable water being supplied to the property. That's the issue that's before me
sorry.
today. No, that's okay. I want to make sure
I didn't
that,
understand that because I really don't understand a lot of stuff. But in regards to the water, I have tanks that I bring water in myself. I had a bill. I had a leak back last year. Apparently I had a leak in my home. City said they sent me notices. This was during COVID, so nobody was coming out, I guess, during the COVID times. And I get a bill for $10,000. And I called. I said, what is this bill? Why is this? My water bill has never been $10,000. What's going on? So I talked to the supervisors or whatever. They were like, oh, something must be going on in your house. She said to check your floors, get somebody to come in and see. You might have a leak in your house. So I did that. She said, if I find out what's going on, get the problem fixed, bring the receipt, which I have, showing it, they would revert my thing back to my normal bill. Well, I did all that. I brought the receipt back showing that I had the issue fixed. And she was like, well, it's a little too late. You had to do it between this time and this time. I said, well, it's COVID. It's hard to get a plumber, people to come out during COVID times. You can get what you can get. And he came and he did this. And she said, well, she looked at my bill and everything. She saw where the bill had started going back down to my original bill, like $200-something. But she said, oh, well, call different places, see if you could get help to help you with the bill. So I did that. Well, some people couldn't help me. Some people said they could only go back 2 months. Well, I was already paying 2 months. So then they came out and they just cut the water off, and I was paying on the current bill and still trying to figure out how to pay the $10,000. And I said, well, can we work something out so I can pay the $10,000? She said, well, you have to pay $7,000 to even get a chance to consider, making payments on the rest of the bill. I was like, well, where am I going to get that from? If I can't come up with $7,000, I can definitely, $10,000, I can't come up with $7,000. So I got nowhere. They came out and they cut off my bill, my water, to my thing, and I said, okay, I couldn't even, the account is closed. They closed the account. I can't even pay on the account because they closed the account. I would have to really come down here, I guess, and do something. I don't know. So I just went wireless, water system, went off the grid and did wireless. I have 500-gallon tanks that I use that runs through my house. I can show you a picture of the water running through my faucet from my little power tank that I have running to my house.
I have a couple of questions. I want to make sure I'm understanding what you're telling me correctly. So you had a water account through the city?
Yes.
And there was an issue, and the bill got up to about $10,000. That
During
was,
COVID,
okay, and that was around 2020?
2020, the issue started, apparently she said in 2020, like, she went, when she saw my bill was going up, she said it was like December or something like that of 2020. When I got actual notice, it was like 2021 of the $10,000 bill, and I'm like,
And do you have, is that a copy of that you have there? It looked like you were holding
yes,
up.
it actually is.
Did you want me to take a look at that?
Yeah, I can
Why don't you show that to the city, and then I'll take a look at that document.
show it to,
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Is there any objection to this document being made part of the record?
No objections,
For the
sir.
record,
No
I'm
objection.
looking at a City of West Palm Beach, looks like a water bill for Monica Lewis at 3021 Pinewood Avenue. Service from February 4th, 2021 to March 4th, 2021, showing a total amount due of $9,948.29. And that includes, looks like water, sewer, also the trash and stormwater. This looks like an original document. We're going to need to get a copy of this so that it can be made part of the record. And then I'm just looking, there's a,
Ms. Lewis, you can step back to the microphone over here.
there's a grid that shows usage history between March of 2020 and March of 2021. It does show significant usage in the months of October, November, December, and January of 2021, and some increases April, May, and then July, and then it drops way down in August, and then it starts going way back up, and then it goes down to almost nothing. All right, so that document will be made part of the record. Ma'am, when was the water, your water account turned off?
it's been about 4 or 5 months.
About a month ago?
No, about 4 or 5 months. It's been off.
So when you got this
Well-
document that you just gave me, it was already turned off, is that?
No, they didn't turn it off because I was trying to get the situation fixed, see how I could handle it to get it paid for. And I was just following all the instructions of the lady that told me to do, the supervisor told me to do, getting nowhere. She was like, they have COVID money out there, they could probably help you pay the bill, but I kept explaining to her, it's not a COVID situation, and I can't prove that. It's not COVID, it's a leak in the floor. So she told me to call different charities, which is what I did. So that's why the time took so long, because I was trying to get assistance, to no avail. So when she told me to get it fixed and bring the receipt, I did that. But then she said the time frame that I should was.
Let me ask this question, and then I'm probably gonna have some questions for Mr. Bilal. When did you start using this tank that you told me about to supply yourself with water?
I've had the tank for about what? 4 months? About 4 months.
4 months?
Telling you, you don't know when they-
I can't really honestly say when they cut the water off. I don't remember the date. that they cut it off, but when they cut it off, I went to another source to get.
Well,
water.
I mean, according to the document that you just gave me, there was a lot of water usage as late as January of this year, and then February, it looks like it went down to about nothing.
So that would,
That's when he told me.
So is that when, so let me ask one last follow-up question. How do you get water into that tank?
Ms. Lewis, can you pull the microphone to you? I'm sorry.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
I pump it. I have a pump
Pump it from where?
from my tank.
How do you get the water into the tank so that the water in the tank can go into your residence? How do you fill the tank?
Oh, I go to my mom's house. I bring my own water in.
So you take water from your mother's residence.
I fill up my tanks,
Uh-huh.
and I bring them back to my house. And I hook them up to my motor, and I provide my water.
Okay, sit tight, I want to come back over to the city. So it appears there was a water account. Can you shed some light on what happened in terms of the account getting this almost $10,000 balance and then getting shut off?
The property did have a water account. I was unaware of the leak upon initial inspection of the property. I was instructed to visit the property because there was not an established water account, so that must have been about the time that the water meter was pulled from the property. The property was cited because there was not a permanent source of water, and I don't think at that point in that time, the pictures that I had taken during that time, there was no water tank or nothing present on that property. I believe it was about a month later that I did drive by the property and see one of our inspectors did witness a water tank in the front yard, and it was cited for a trailer, I believe, a pressure cleaning trailer on site.
Is there, I won't preface it with any comment. Is there a city code that requires all residential properties to be connected to city water as opposed to having a private water source for potable drinking water?
Yes.
I would assume there is, but
Yes, I am, there is. I would have to take a few minutes to find it, though, if you needed a specific section.
but the point is, you're not allowed to have a tank that you fill yourself from any source.
No.
To use for potable water that goes into the residence.
No.
You can maybe water your grass or whatever, but you have to have a metered water account, and that's city code, that's health department as well, is
Yes.
it not?
Right.
Okay. So if this, let me come back over, ma'am, is it, so the balance that's $9,948.29, that remains outstanding, is that right? Yeah. So that's what I thought. So back to the city, in order to get the water account, the meter turned back on or reinstalled or whatever, that has to get resolved. Is that a condition precedent to?
Yes. An established water account typically means if somebody applies for the water account, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I believe that somebody can establish a water account to the property, and I don't believe that they are made liable for the previous owner and water account balance.
Okay.
Because that was not consumed under the new owner or tenant. So if she were to establish a water account with a city water meter, not with a water tank, establish a water account, she would be responsible for the new water account and the new water meter bill.
But before that happens, this old balance has to be.
It has to be cleared.
Okay. All right, let me come back over to Respondent. Ma'am, do you understand, I'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions based on the questions I just asked the city in terms of the requirements for having city water and what has to be done. Do you have any questions about that, or is there anything further you want to tell me about that?
I've been there for 23 years, and this is the first that I've ever had a water bill that's $10,000. I've been there for 23 years. And I tried everything, did everything I was asked to do to try to get this bill taken care of with no avail. I don't have $10,000. I mean, I even tried, like I said, I tried to work out a payment plan, but I had to come up with $7,000 first to even work out a payment plan. So what am I supposed to do? I mean, I have water that I'm bringing in. Okay, I'm understanding what you're saying with.
Let me ask you this question. I'm not clear. Was a leak in the system ever discovered? Was the problem ever identified, or did the water meter just get turned off? And
I identified the problem, like because the lady suggested
let me go ahead
it.
and why don't you show that document to Mr. Belisle, and then I'll take a look at that, and let's see what we have there.
Ms. Lewis, do you have any pictures of this repair?
No.
Thank you.
All right, this is a contractor's invoice. Is there any objection from the city to this being made part of the record?
No objection.
Okay, so this is a contractor's invoice dated January 29th of this year from Darvin's Plumbing / Drywall.
Ms. Lewis, you can come back. I'm going to make copies for you, or for us. Okay, it's okay.
Magistrate,
Yes.
the invoice in front of you, there has to be some sort of picture somewhere. Somebody has to have evidence of the repair, either physically on the property, showing that much extensive work that was performed. Somewhere there's going to be evidence that that repair was made to make it viable.
It was inside the house. I don't have any pictures.
So so I'm clear, the city would want to see photographic evidence of the work that was done.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have any photographs, sir.
And it looks like okay. So if that occurs, what would be the next step? Let's say they're able to get the city the photographs showing the repairs that were done. Then what happens then?
They still would have to have a permanent source of water. Showing the repairs that were made is just going to certify that that letter is true and accurate. That invoice was actually performed and the work was completed. That would not repair the unsanitary condition of not having a permanent source of water.
No, I understand that the code case doesn't go away until the city water is turned back on. From what I'm hearing, the hump to get over is the almost $10,000 back bill. So I guess the question would be, does proof of these repairs provide any assistance to the respondent in terms of getting over that hump?
No.
And ma'am, you're saying that the city has advised you that to get any kind of a payment plan going, you'd have to at least pay $7,000 of this upfront, and then the balance could be put into a,
Absorbed into my regular back into my regular payments that I was paying.
how long do you think it would take you to be able to get that together, to get into a position to pay that?
$7,000?
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of overtime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I mean, clearly, let me just say where I am. I mean,
get
clearly
like-
there's a code violation
Yes.
here.
Can I get like 6 months?
But I can't force the city to provide any type of financial arrangements that's not. I have no ability to do that. It's not my place to do that. The procedures that are in place, and those are policy decisions that are made by the city, and that's, I have no authority to even suggest any changes to that. That's not, what I can do, though, is try and fashion an order. I clearly think there's a violation. You can't have a water tank that supplies the water to your residents. That's violates health codes. It violates the city's ordinances. How many people are living on the property?
My daughter, my son, myself, my fiance, and my nephew.
Special Magistrate,
Yes,
just as a note, Florida Building 116.1, unsafe buildings or systems, which you've kind of been alluding to, when the systems are unsafe, including building structures, electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing, unsafe, unsanitary, or do not provide adequate egress, or which constitute a fire hazard or are otherwise dangerous to human life, or which in relation to existing use constitute a hazard to safety or health, are considered unsafe buildings or service systems. All such unsafe buildings, structures, or service systems are hereby declared illegal and shall be ordered by the building official to be abated by the owner through repair and rehabilitation or by demolition in accordance with Chapter 18. The extent
So
of repair
strictly
shall be
speaking, the
determined by the
building
building
official has authority, probably in addition to or above what anything I could do here. Not that I'm looking to push this to the building official to deal with. I will deal with this. I have one last question, ma'am. How long has the water tank been in use? Since February when the water meter was turned off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right, is there anything else you'd like to tell me, ma'am?
No, if you can give me at least 6 months to try to come up with the money to pay the city. Like I said, I
Is
have
there
been
anything else
trying
from
to
the
make
city?
arrangements.
Tell him you got a lawyer looking.
Okay, is there anything else from the city on this case? All
I do
right.
have a lawyer looking into the case for me. I'm expecting him to call me back because I didn't know, I'm not sure, I
Well,
wasn't
I
sure how
can't-
to
yeah.
go about handling this because I did whatever, everything that I was asked to do to try to get the water cut back on. And I was even told that you don't have to have city water. That's why I obtained the tank, to have my own water come in when they cut the water off. So now I'm being told that I'm not allowed to have my own water. People are off the grids with tanks all the time, so I didn't understand why it was an issue if I was bringing water into my home to provide for us to wash, take baths, and do our daily things. Because I clearly tried to get assistance with the city. Like I said, I've been there for 23 years. I've never had a $10,000 bill. I did what the young lady over in the water department supervisor told me to do, all of which came to no assistance to me.
And has the city ever gone out and investigated the leak, Mr. Bilal? I think you said you were not aware.
No, I was unaware of a leak when I was first instructed to inspect the property. The leak was made known probably about a month after I had been already cited the property.
And we're not even sure that the leak that is associated with the invoice is
Valid.
valid, or the only leak, or the main leak, or there
There could be several leaks.
there could be other
That could have
stuff
been just
going
one out of many.
What's the city's protocol in terms of checking for leaks in a situation like this? Forget the code enforcement aspect of the case, but if somebody's water bill spikes, is there a program where the city goes out and looks for leaks? I mean, typically, I understand that the city side of the meter is the city's responsibility, and the resident's side of the meter is the resident's responsibility. But when a bill spikes like this, what's typically the process in terms of leak identification?
Typically, the city is only responsible for the water up to the meter, the point of connection. On the private side, they would have to contact a water leak detection service, and they would pinpoint the exact location of the repairs that need to be made. And that documentation would be submitted to our water department, indicating that there was, in fact, a leak that was located.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, did Darvin's Plumbing check for leaks all the way back to the meter when they came out and did this work in January?
They checked in my house, it was in my house.
Okay, but did they tell you that they felt like they fixed all the leaks on your side of the meter at that
The young
time?
lady saw when my bill was going down. She said, I see where the bill started going down, because my new bill was coming. It was like $200-something, and I was paying the bill even though I still had the balance of the $9,000.
Well, it's difficult to tell from the invoice because it goes from being really high to being shut off. So it's difficult.
No, I was paying the bill, and then they shut it off. But my bill, the lady pulled it up on the screen, because I came down here. The supervisor came out and talked to me. And I gave her the
Ms. Lewis, you're not being picked up on the microphone still. I'm sorry.
I gave her the receipt, and she was like, okay, yeah, we see where the bill is going down. She said, but you would have to brought this in before a certain time. I guess it was a deadline. I didn't know it was a deadline. And I told her I didn't know. So that's when she sent me to go, gave me numbers to different community services to try to get help for the bill.
Okay. Well, this is a difficult case, ma'am. I'm going to fashion a remedy that's not going to make anybody happy. It's certainly not going to make you happy, and it's not going to make the city happy. But code enforcement isn't always doesn't always have a good answer for these things. So clearly the city has proper notice with the notice documentation. Respondents are present at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I also think there's no question that the property remains in violation as cited, not only based on the city's evidence, but the respondent's testimony acknowledging the use of the water tank. That's clearly a city and health department. That's prohibited. I'm going to give you a little bit of time. I can't give you 6 months. That's too much time under the circumstances. But I will give you 60 days to get this straightened out. I mean, I don't know where you might come up with the money to get the account reopened. But even that's probably, if you ask the health department, that's probably way too much time to give you, but that's what I'm going to do based on your testimony and the documentation you showed me. If you don't have a water account opened within 60 days, to bring the code enforcement case into compliance, I'm going to impose daily fines of $200 a day. And I want to motivate you to get this fixed. Alternatively, and this goes back to what I said a few minutes ago, my order will authorize the city to abate the violation, if that means that the building official comes out to the property and red tags it and doesn't let anybody live there, whatever the process is, that's fine. But quite honestly, and it is my understanding that the building official could go out tomorrow and do that. He doesn't need my permission, and I have no control over what the building official does. I'm going to give you a little bit more time, which will still be difficult for you, I understand, but I'm going to give you those 60 days. If the city takes other action on a different path, I have no control over that. But that will be my order today, is to give you 60 days to get this resolved. After that, $200 per day fines. The city's alternatively authorized under my order to abate the violation. And again, to be clear, so that there's no surprises, it's my understanding that through the building official, the city, and possibly the health department, they could take parallel action that has nothing to do with my order, because there's other folks that have authority to do other things, and I have no control over that. So you need to be aware you can't keep using the tank. You need to do whatever you need to do to get back onto the city's water system. We need to have copies of these two documents made so that they can get these originals back as well. So that will be my order in this case, and I do wish you all good luck to getting this resolved, but it does need to be resolved.
Thank you.
Actually, the same respondent is here for number 19, it looks like, 3021 Pinewood Avenue. Is that CE 22030279? It's for the unpermitted work.
Good morning again. This is Attilio Bilal, City of West Palm Beach Inspector. Property was initially cited on 3/10 of 22 for additions installed in the back of the property without permits or inspections. Property was properly posted. Property was posted on site, City Hall, regular mail, and certified mail. The property has not obtained any permits as of today to gain compliance. I have spoken to the owner in front of you today, Monica, regarding this, and the additions that have been made to the property do not appear to have any permits or inspections. However, the additions appear to be like they were installed in 2006, 2007.
And so I'm guessing that the discovery of the water issue brought the unpermitted addition to your attention?
Yes.
Okay.
Inspector, was there a red tag issued?
Yes, there was. There was a red tag issued on 3/10 of 22.
Okay. Could you briefly describe, in conjunction with the photos that we're seeing, are you describing one additional structure, more than one? And can you describe a little bit about what you're seeing?
On the rear of the property, if you scroll down, keep going down through the pictures, and I'll describe the photographs.
In addition, Inspector, was there an affidavit of posting that was executed and in the
Yes.
file? Thank you.
Okay, so that picture right there indicates the back rear of the property, showing that there was no addition on the property in 2006. Scroll to the next photo up. And that's a photograph on 2007 showing the addition on the back of the property. And it appears as though at some point in some time, somebody has enclosed the carport as well and made it a bedroom. Property appraiser shows it as a base area, which base area is defined as a unit that is not livable.
Is the carport the flat roof section and
No,
top of?
continue with the photos. That's the back of the structure. Keep going. Keep going. There's additional photos that have been added to the case that are outside of this file. Should be the additional photos on top. This is the carport.
Okay.
You see where the driveway went into the carport?
Yes.
Special Magistrate, the city would like to, oh, I'm sorry, Inspector, are you finished?
Yes, I'm finished.
Inspector, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, red tag stop work order, the property appraiser documents, and photographs.
All right, that is granted. Those documents are all made part of the record in this case. What relief is the city seeking on this violation?
The city's requesting to have either a demo permit applied for to remove the violations or obtain proper permits for the work that was performed.
And that could be all disciplines. Is there any
That's all trades, yes.
all trades? Okay. And in a case like this, there's enhanced permit fees, I would suspect, for
Yes.
doing the work.
Four times fee.
4 times. Okay. Okay. Let me come back over to respondents. Go ahead, Ms. Lewis. You can tell me about this case.
Okay, I was able to find my permit for the roofing back in March of 2001. I found that for the roof on the house.
Okay.
The front was there when I got there, so
Let me ask, when did you acquire this property?
1999? 1999.
All right, so you owned the property when it was enclosed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
And all that you saw, I did clean up. I had the pictures if you want these pictures. You talking about the front part? So, and if you want copies of the roofing, I have it here.
And you said that's from 2001?
This is from March 5th of 2001. The city has also been on my property and put brand new windows in there. The housing development came in on August the 3rd and put brand new windows in my house. They did the kitchen, they did the bathrooms. Nothing was said about these permits for the house. And they came in and did work on the house.
Who's they?
The Housing and Community Development had a grant. They were going around offering grants for people to have their houses upgraded, like make sure you have fire hazard windows and any work that you wanted to get done. And it was like a 10-year program.
And when was that?
That was back in August of 2003.
2003.
Yes. It was Queen, I don't know her last name, it was Miss Queen that approached me about this program back then.
Okay, let me stop you for just a minute. I want to come back over to the city. Mr. Bilal, if I remember your testimony, the issues that we're looking at occurred around 2006. In this case, the additions.
They appeared in 2007 on pictometry. They were not present in 2006.
Okay. So the 2001 roof and the 2003
It's irrelevant.
windows is not what we're...
It's irrelevant.
Okay. Okay.
What is he saying?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought the issues that the city's bringing to my attention on this case had to do with the additions and the closing in the carport that appeared to take place several years after.
The carport, magistrate, the carport may have been purchased, the home may have been purchased with the carport enclosed
Okay.
by Ms. Lewis. However, it was never properly permitted for it to be enclosed. and to be actually habitated. I don't know if it's an efficiency or what is inside of the carport. However, it's not a permitted structure.
Okay, and then was there other addition work besides the carport that's part of this?
No.
All right. So, all right, so now, if you could clarify this, because if they owned the property in the late 90s, is that when you said you bought it, ma'am?
1990.
And if the carport was already enclosed, I'm not clear on how the 2006, 2007 timeframe applies.
If a property was altered, whether it be altered yesterday or 40 years before today, if it was a violation then, it's still a violation today.
No, I get that. I'm not clear as to whether it happened in the 1990s or if it happened in 2006, 2007. That's what I'm not.
Yeah, it's not just the carport. It is the rear of the home. The addition is.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yes.
Were there other enclosure work that was unpermitted
Yes.
besides the carport?
Yes.
So the carport may have been old.
Yes.
But there was other stuff that happened.
Yes, to the rear of the home.
That's what I was
Correct.
trying to understand. And that's what happened in 2006, 2007?
Yes, sir.
Understood. Okay. Okay, so the carport, and I think you were, Ms. Lewis, trying to tell me the carport was enclosed when you bought the house? Okay. What about the other stuff?
When I refinanced the house, the contractor came and did my roof, did roofing work on my house, and he put the roof on there.
Ms.
I
Lewis,
need to get
could
you
please
closer to
speak
the
into
microphone, yeah.
I'm sorry. He put the extended roof on when he did the roof work. If you can see that it all tied into to the roof. And I would assume that he had gotten a permit. I mean.
Did you say you have some permit paperwork with you that
Yeah.
can we take a look at that? Again, same as before.
We do have an attorney. And we're looking into our violations.
Magistrate, the permit documents that are before me were from 2001.
Correct, that's what she said, yeah.
And this permit that was issued was reissued for a final only inspection of repair of an old roof. These inspections were only performed to the main portion of the home, and this permit is irrelevant to the addition.
That's what I was going to ask, if there was something that showed whether it included that addition or if it was just the main residence.
So what is it that you want me to do? You want me to tear the whole house down? What is it you want me to do?
All right, so just give me a second to take a look at this permit documentation.
And there's no roof, magistrate, in that area in 2006.
I was hoping there was going to be a sketch for people like me who aren't as smart as the building official. This is from March of 2001. And the photographs show that that addition didn't show up until several years later, is that right?
Correct.
All right, without objection, the permit documents will also be made part of the record. We'll need the copies of these as well. Get the originals back to you. Anything else, ma'am, that you'd like to tell me?
I did call a company to come out to do a survey to try to pull permits for the structure, K-Boys. So I have an appointment with them to come out this week to check that out, to see what I need to do to come in compliance with the building department. Like I said, I did clean up everything. I have pictures if you want these pictures to put with the other
No,
stuff.
I can see,
No, I'm saying, I cleaned up. It doesn't look like that anymore. I removed everything, the cars, I cleaned out everything.
Okay, no, I believe you that, but again, what's before me is not the
What there's-
debris on the property. This is strictly doing work without a building permit.
All right, well, I'm not doing any work, that's been there for a while. I told them I didn't pull any permits because I wasn't doing any work, is why I was telling them. That's why I didn't pull any permits, because I wasn't doing any work on the property. It's been there for however many years it's been there. So I did, like I said, I did contact K-Boys to come out to do a survey to see how they can help me with the code violation to get a permit for the property.
Okay.
So if I can have time for that, I would greatly appreciate it.
Okay. Anything else from the city?
No, sir.
All right.
I also have an attorney looking into it too to help me out with all this, because every time I turn around, it's something, I don't know the cities. We don't have a book, you know, it's like when you have a child, you don't have a book to know how to raise a child, you don't know. So.
No, that's probably a good thing to do, to get a professional involved
Yes.
to give you some guidance. Okay, in this case, again, the city has proper notice with the notice documentation. The respondent is present at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I am convinced that the property is in violation of having done work without a permit as cited in the notice. Whether or not the carport enclosure occurred prior to this respondent owning the property, there's still no evidence that that work was permitted. The evidence that I've reviewed very clearly shows that the additional addition did not occur until 2006, 2007. The evidence regarding the 2001 roofing permit shows that this respondent did own the property at that time. So whenever this addition occurred, this respondent owned the property and the work was done without a permit. In this case, I am going to accept the city's recommendation. I'm going to give you the same 60 days that I gave you in the last case to either get a demolition permit to remove the unpermitted work, or obtain the appropriate building permits to have the appropriate inspections done for the additions that were put on without permits. You'll have to pay the appropriate permit fees to do that. If that is not complied within 60 days, there will be an additional daily fine of $200 per day until compliance is achieved on that. So you're looking at hefty fines if you don't get these things resolved. If you don't get either case resolved, you're looking at $400 a day. It's going to add up real fast, so I really encourage you to make this a top priority to get these resolved. And then we'll need to get copies of that permit paperwork back so that we can have copies in the file. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Number 17428 52nd Street, CE 22030206. If you want to wait.
Good morning.
Good morning. Attilio Belisle, Inspector for the City of West Palm Beach. Property was initially cited on 3/5 of '22 for the driveway installed by a previous owner of the property. This was found during an expired permit investigation. The new current owner is standing before you. The property was properly cited at City Hall, certified mail, and regular mail. The property also remains in violation. No permits have been obtained. However, there is a permit that is applied for, permit number 14020136, can be obtained by the current owner. It has already been through the review process, and there's some comments that just need to be addressed in order to obtain the permit. I have conversed with the property owner, and he's going to actually go right over to the building department office and obtain the permit right after the hearing. He's made every attempt possible to communicate with me, and he wants to do the right thing. The city's willing to give 60 days to obtain the permit and inspections. After that, $50 a day.
All right, thank you. Yes, sir, go ahead and tell me your name and address, and then you can tell me about the case.
Hi, good morning. My name is Louis Lancho. I reside in 428 52nd Street, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33407.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Mr. Bilal, everything that he said has been accurate, and the minute that this is over, I will be going across the hall to get the permit and begin the inspection for it.
All right, well, I have no problem memorializing that agreement, putting that in the order of the 60 days. I think that makes sense as well. All right, thank you very much. Anything else, sir?
That's it, sir. Thank
Anything
you.
else from the city?
No.
Can the city submit its evidence for the record?
Yes.
Yes.
City would submit the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, stop work order, permit referenced, photographs, and any other documents in the file.
That is granted. The documents are part of the record. In this case, city has proper notice, respondent is present, you have the proper documents in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I'm going to allow 60 days to cure the violations by obtaining the proper permits and inspections. After that, I will accept the city's recommendation for daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is achieved. So make sure you get that buttoned up within the next 2 months so that those fines don't start running.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
She might have gone to make copies real quick. Do you have another case?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Case number CE 22030285.
Well, that looks like agenda item number 20 on today's agenda. Let's go ahead and,
Proceed.
yeah, that's 809 20th Street, is that right?
Yes, correct.
Sunnyside in Florida v. LLC. We have a respondent present for that case? Does not appear that we do. We just called up agenda item number 20 and put it on the record.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Property was initially cited on 3/9 of '22 for new water services installed to the apartments without proper permit or inspections. Property was properly cited on site in regular mail, certified mail, and at City Hall. I've made contact with the plumbing contractor that has obtained the permit 22041321. This permit was issued on 5/2 of '22. The contractor is proceeding to commence the work as we speak to gain compliance. They are also applied for replacing the driveway, so it's going to take a little bit of time to replace the driveway and the water services. The city's requesting 60 days to obtain the inspections, and after that, $50 a day.
Okay, there's nobody here on behalf of the respondent. However, the city has proper notice with the notice documents in the file. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Inspector, an affidavit of posting executed and in the file?
Yes, it is.
And a stop work order or red tag was also issued?
Yes, it was.
And the photographs that we saw, do those accurately represent the observations that you've made on the property?
As of today, yes.
Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as as evidence, a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, photographs, red tag, permit documentation, and any other documentation in the file.
That is granted. All those documents are part of the record. To repeat, the city does have proper notice. Based on the testimony and the evidence I have reviewed, I find the property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation in this case, allow 60 additional days for the violations to be cured. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
All done?
Yes.
See you next time.
It's case number 1127 Florida Avenue, CE 211-00134.
Good afternoon.
Good
Oh,
afternoon.
good morning still.
Not yet,
Yeah,
not here.
almost. Alberto Fernandez, City of West Palm Beach, Building Inspector. October 9th, 2021, I issued a stop work order for working without a permit installing AC equipment. April 23rd, 2022, I posted final notice of violation. As of today, still no permit has been pulled.
Not even applied for, nothing,
Nothing.
no activity at all.
And several attempts been made to
Okay.
the property owner.
Inspector, just to clarify, was the notice of violation sent via certified and
Yes.
regular mail?
Yes,
And was the notice of violation posted at City Hall and at the property?
yes,
Is there an affidavit of posting executed and in the file?
yes,
Was there any type of a stop work order or red tag issued?
yes,
And the photographs that we've seen on the screen, do those accurately reflect your observations of the condition or alleged violation on the property?
yes.
Special Magistrate, the city, thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, stop work order or red tag, photographs, and any other documentation in the file.
That is granted. Those documents are all made part of the record. I will find proper notice in this case with the notice documentation, even though the respondent is not present at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I find the property remains in violation as cited. Is 30 days enough time if
Yeah.
with good faith effort for them to get the permit?
Yeah, that's
All right,
right.
I'm going to allow 30 additional days for the respondent to cure the violation. After that, daily fines. Does the city have a recommendation on the fine amount in this case?
$50.
$50 per day. That's, I agree with that. Or $50 a day after that until compliance is achieved. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's case number 38808 7th Street, CE 220300168, number 38808 7th Street.
Special Magistrate, the respondent will need to be sworn in.
Okay. Let me hear from Ms. Luster, and then I'll come back over you folks. We'll place you under oath, and we'll proceed that way.
Good morning, Officer Luster, West Palm Code Enforcement. This property was, certified mail was signed on 3/14/2022. Property and City Hall was posted on 4/13/2022. This case started initially from a tenant complaint. The tenant called in regards to the ceiling in the kitchen dining room area had fallen in due to water intrusion. And from what I could see, it was from the air conditioning unit, not the roof. And so I did that inspection in regards to the inside of the unit. And on my accident of the unit, I just went ahead and inspected the whole property. So the property was in violation for repair, replaced ceiling inside property, interior walls for ceiling repair, equipment failure in regarding the AC unit, trash, litter, and debris on the property, litter, trash, and garbage on the property, garbage can placements, landscape, open areas, open spaces on the property, and landscaping the swell, and also filling in a large hole that has been just dug out over time from the tenants actually placing their, debris or yard waste at the curb, but it's being placed on the swell itself. So sanitation has actually dug a large hole in, to the point where now the sidewalk is getting into danger of collapsing. I've had contact with the property owner and his attorney, Ms. Cunningham, and she initially asked for 45 days to bring the property into compliance. I have met with the owner at the property. I've gone over all of the outside violations because I haven't gone back in the inside of the unit that was the initial complainant, which I'm under understanding that that person has been evicted.
Okay.
And I explained to Mr. Green at the property that inside violations still had to be corrected even though that person is no longer there. So at the property meeting with Mr. Green, he asked for additional time, which was 60 days versus the 45, and I don't have a problem with that. So 60 days or $50 per day.
All right, thank you.
Officer Lester, is an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes, ma'am.
And the photographs that we've been reviewing during your testimony, do they accurately reflect your observations of the alleged violations on the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
All right. Let me get the appearance. Counselor, go ahead and make your appearance on the record.
Yes, good morning. My name is Attorney Mallory Cunningham, and I am here on behalf of Mr. Green.
Thank you, Ms. Cunningham. Will your client be testifying?
No, my client does not want to.
That's fine. I just didn't know if I needed to
Justify.
swear him in or not.
Well, we may not need for, there may not be a need for testimony, but Judge, the city has cited my client for trash and debris removal. My client can be sworn in to say that the debris has been removed by him, and we have pictures to that effect that we would like to present to the magistrate.
Okay, why don't you show those?
I have already done
I've already
so.
seen the pictures,
Is there
Magistrate.
any objection to those
No,
being
sir.
made part of the record? And do you have any objection to the city's request for the notice documents and their photographs to be made part of the record?
No, we don't have any objection to that.
All right, then without
Whatsoever.
objection, the city's documents are made part of the record, and I'll be happy to make your photographs part of the record and take a look at those as well.
So who should I give this to?
You can give them to me. If you've already seen them, I can just go ahead and take them.
I've
I can
already
give
seen the
them to
magistrate.
you.
Thank you, ma'am. And are these, do we need to make copies of these, or are these for the file?
Those are for the file.
Thank you. Let me just take a quick peek. Ms. Lester, have you inspected the property?
I inspected the property yesterday, and the date stamps are on my pictures, and the pictures of the swell was yesterday. So it may be removed today or last night, but yesterday it was
Okay.
in the condition that's shown in my pictures.
All right, well, without objection, I have 10 photographs that will be made the respondents' Exhibit 1 for today's hearing that are part of the record as well.
We also have one issue. If the city comes and picks up the trash from the road and they make the hole in the swell, my client should not be responsible for repairing or replacing the soil that the city took away. And we should not be cited for that.
Is there evidence that that's how that happened?
Well, it wasn't like that before, and it would be we can have testimony to that effect at another hearing to bring in the garbage person and say that they picked it up, and when they picked it up, also the sand is also removed with the trash.
Magistrate, just to clear up the issue in regards to that, every property owner is responsible for maintaining swell easement and right-of-way in front of their property and the rear of their property. I explained to Mr. Green on site that when his tenants put whatever on that swell, the city will remove it because it's out there to be removed. And I also explained to him, once that happens, of course the dirt is gonna come up with whatever they pick up. So I asked him to ask his tenants to put it on the road. Therefore, it wouldn't be able to continue to be a hole. And yes, we're responsible for maintaining swell. So he needs to fill the hole in, sod it, and stop the tenants from putting it on the swell. Simple as that.
Okay. All right, thank you, Ms. Lester.
So if the city continues to come and put a hole on the swell, my client should not be responsible for continuing to do that. We would ask for an extension of time because that has already been corrected. I just don't want my client to have to expend more money to correct the problem that the city has created, and he should not be held responsible for the damage that the city did to the property.
Well, I have no evidence that the city, I have your opinion, but that is not evidence. And based on what I've been told today, that everyone's been well aware of today's hearing. If there was evidence, I would have expected it to have been brought to today's hearing. So I don't share as strong an opinion as you are arguing. Without evidence, I see in that photograph right there that the garbage is being put in the swale and not on the street. So let me let you give me any final comments. Let me ask you this question. You're asking for additional time. Is that an additional time beyond the 60 days that Ms. Luster suggested? Or in addition to the 60 days?
Well, we would like to resolve this expediently as possible. The tenant has been an extreme problem, and the tenant is being removed by the sheriff's office today. So
I see.
Once the tenant is removed, the trash will be gone with her. So we will not have that issue with her throwing her debris onto the property in that manner. So that would be corrected as soon as Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office remove her from the premises. So we have met with Ms. Lester. We are attempting to work with her. We had an inspection or a meeting with her prior to this hearing, and we would ask that 90 days, and then once the 90 days, we would like to resolve it before then. But I just want to make sure that this tenant is out and we won't have to come back here again. Because this is the second time we have evicted her and had to go back to court a second time, which extended the period where she was in the apartment.
Okay, I understand that. All right, thank you, ma'am. Anything else from the city?
No, sir. I don't
Here's
have
what
an
I'm going to
objection.
do in this case. First, I find proper notice. The city has the proper notice documents in its file. The respondent is present and represented by legal counsel at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence that I have reviewed, I do find the property remains in violation as cited. Some of the photographs that I've been provided reflect that some of those violations may now be cured, but the city will need to inspect that and verify pursuant to the code enforcement procedures. I'm going to allow 90 days for the respondent to cure the violations of City Code Section 18103, which has to do with the interior of the unit. That'll give you the additional time on the interior stuff to account for the eviction process and make sure that happens. But I'm going to allow 60 days for the violations of City Code 18106, 7334, and 94442, which is the exterior, the clean and sanitary, the litter, garbage can placement, and landscaping. If either of those deadlines are not met, then I will impose daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is achieved. And I will sign that order. And I thank everybody for coming today.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all we have for contested matters. Case number 2 is complied, 817 Belvedere Road, CE 22030003. Number 3, 395 27th Street, CE 22030291.
Good morning, Officer Levine, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement. This property was cited for failure to obtain a rental license, business tax receipt for the business office, and certificate of use. Service was accomplished by certified mail, which was signed for on 3/21/2022. The property was also posted on 3/22/2022. On April 19th, the property owner made contact with me and I sent them an application for the rental license via email, and they have yet to respond. The city is requesting 30 days to come into compliance, or $200 a day thereafter, and a one-time fee of $250 for the business tax receipt.
All right, 30 days to obtain the rental license, or what was the daily fine recommendation?
$200 a day,
$100 per day?
and then the one-time fee of $250 for the business
Right.
office.
And the 30 days is for the rental license and the certificate of
Yes,
use
sir.
violation? All right. All right, I do find proper notice in this case with certified mail and the posting. Oh, let me let Ms. Francanero do her. I'm sorry, I keep getting ahead of you.
Officer, was there an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that affidavit accurately reflect that also regular mail was sent and City Hall was posted?
Yes.
And as a part of your file, do you have that email and the rental application
Yes.
sent to the respondent? But thank you. And the photographs that are in the file accurately represent that you posted the property,
Yes.
correct? Okay. Special Magistrate, the city would like to present as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, photographs, email, and rental application.
That is granted.
Yeah, so
Again, I find proper notice in this case with the certified mail and the posting documentation, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find the property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation. Allow 30 days for compliance. After that, for the violations of 18162A and 2232A, there will be daily fines of $200 per day. For the violation of 82144, there is assessed a one-time fine of $250.
Thank you.
Number 4, 5101 Pinewood Avenue, CE 22020109.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited February the 7th. Certified mail was sent February the 8th. Certified mail was received February the 11th. Property at City Hall was posted March the 1st. This property was cited for a cleaning, sanitary, garbage can placement, landscape maintenance, outdoor storage, paint, and a repeat violation is also sodding of the swells. All violations have come into compliance. The repeat violation was for case CE 2012022. It was cited December the 17th, 2020. It complied February the 11th, 2021. The city is requesting for the repeat violation the repeat violation was out of compliance for a total of 15 days, and the city is requesting $100 per day per 15 days, which is $1,500 for the repeat.
Officer, does your file reflect that an executed affidavit of posting was done and in the file?
Yes, is in the,
Does that affidavit of posting also reflect that regular mail was sent?
also in the file itself as well.
And with respect to what date did you first observe the alleged repeat violation?
February the 7th.
And do you have in the file a copy of the underlying order and affidavit of compliance?
Yeah, it's in the folder that says repeat. On there has all the stuff from the last case that it repeated from.
And can you please clarify specifically what the repeat violation is for?
Clean and sanitary.
And can you please describe your observations from the being at the property that reflect a clean and sanitary alleged violation?
If you go to the picture, the image, you'll see there's tons of trash all over the debris, all over the yard. So that to me would be for clean and sanitary. There's debris, there's trash cans, there's all sorts of things that were out there.
And do the pictures that we're reviewing while you're testifying, do those accurately reflect your observations on the property?
Yeah, exactly what I saw.
Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, photographs, as well as the underlying order and affidavit of compliance upon which the repeat violation is based.
If that is granted, those documents are made part of the record. In this case, I do find proper notice with the certified mail and the posting, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, find the property you said that everything's in compliance at
Yes.
this point. So I will make a finding that the property was in violation, is now in compliance, and that compliance occurred after the deadline in the notice of violation.
Yeah, it was prior to the
So
deadline.
that's not even, they complied with the notice of violation.
Yes, he did. He
Okay.
called and I let him know it was a repeat. So
I do find, however, that the violation of City Code 18106A regarding clean and sanitary conditions is a repeat violation, which was first observed on January 7th of 2021. Tell me again the date that was cured
the 22nd.
of January.
February.
So that was the fifth, that was
It was 15 days.
15 days, right? And your recommendation for a daily fine for those 15 days?
$100 per day.
$100 per day, so that's, I will accept the city's recommendation on the repeat violation. Assess daily fines of $100 per day for the 15 days that the property remained in repeat violation of City Code 18106A. And then there were no other findings, other than that the property did comply timely with the other violations.
Yep.
Right, okay.
Next case number 57610 South Olive Avenue, CE 22030438.
Good morning, John Frosco, West Palm Beach, Code 4, Joe Oliva. He's on vacation. This case was cited for no fence permit on March 24th of 2022, and the property was posted. That should be in the file. I spoke to the owner yesterday of the property, and he made an application for the permit, but the information that he supplied was a little bit incorrect, like the fence height and those requirements, which is a simple adjustment. He is waiting for one more utility sign-off on this from FPU for public utilities. He asked for 120 days, which is unusually long time for this.
120?
Yeah, but I did say this, because when I went out there and I personally inspected the property, he put it up, he has to meet the specific criteria that the zoning requirements set forth. So since it was already put up, and I couldn't find where actually the markers were for the property lines, you know, I told him it's usually marked so that you can see it, so when the inspector goes out and make sure that it's in the right place. So if it's not, then he's gonna have to remove it and start over. So I suggested that that 90 days would be sufficient enough to remedy this problem.
Okay.
Officer, I know you're taking over on this particular case. today for Officer Fresca. Does the record or your file reflect that an executed affidavit of posting is in the file?
Yes,
And does that affidavit of posting reflect that the notice of violation was sent by certified mail and regular mail and posted at the property and at City Hall?
yes, it was.
And with respect to the photographs that we've been reviewing during your testimony, since you also were at the property, do those photographs accurately represent your observations of the fence in violation on the property?
They do.
Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs, as well as a copy of the permit application that the officer testified to.
That is granted. City has proper notice with the certified mail and posting documents in the file, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation. As cited, I'll allow 90 days to comply. Did you have a daily fine recommendation?
Yeah, I don't think it should be very high for
$50
this
a day?
circumstances. $50 a day would be sufficient enough.
50? I'll agree with that. Daily fines of $50 per day after the 90 days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 6 is rescheduled, 3021 Clyde Road, CE 2202022. Number 7, 2000 Ware Drive, CE 220200395.
Marcus Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property at 2000 Ware Drive was originally cited on February 28th, 2022. Certified and regular mail was sent out March 1st, 2022. That was received March 4th, 2022. The property as well as City Hall was posted on April 22nd, 2022, and an affidavit of posting was prepared and placed into the case file. To date, I've had contact with the owner who was originally cited for 9442. The vehicles parked on the grass at the property, 34102A for the junk or abandoned vehicles that are there. Is approximately about 3 or 4 of them, and 9471-C for various outdoor storage. There were different car parts and things at the home. To date, 9442 has been complied, as well as 9471-C, the outdoor storage. 34102A still remains. The owner is asking for 60 days. Both parents unfortunately passed due to COVID, and he inherited their vehicles. That's why there's so many of them there. And so he's looking for either buyers or storage for the vehicles. So the city is requesting 60 days to bring that into compliance, or a $100 a day fine until compliance is achieved.
Officer, can you let us know what makes these vehicles junk or abandoned?
They don't have tags on them, or expired tags, and then there's the one under the carport that's completely junk, doesn't have an engine in it or anything like that.
Thank you. The photographs that we've been reviewing while you're testifying, do those accurately reflect your observations of the violations on the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
That is granted. Those documents are part of the record. City has proper notice based on the mailing and the posting. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation of City Code 34102A, but has complied with the other code sections cited in the notice of violation. I will allow an additional 60 days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Number 8 is rescheduled, 536 Northwood Road, CE 220300518. Number 9 is rescheduled, 525 30th Street, CE 220402266. Number 10, 4301 Broadway, CE 220300265.
Good morning, Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 4301 Broadway was cited on 3/15 of 22. The property and City Hall were posted on 4/18 of 22, and certified mail was sent on 3/17 of 22. The certified mail was returned. The property was cited for exterior wall repair, exterior window, indoors repair, exterior paint, boarding certificate, and numbering standards. I've had contact with a representative All code sections are in compliance with the exception of 18-265, which is the boarding certificate. The city is asking for an additional 10 days or $200 per day until compliance is achieved.
So the only thing they have left to do is get the boarding certificate or remove the boards from the windows and doors?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Officer, do you have an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes.
Does that affidavit of posting accurately reflect that the notice was also sent by regular mail?
It does.
During your testimony, we've reviewed some photographs. Do those photographs accurately represent your observations of the violations on the property?
They do.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
That is granted. City has proper notice with the posting following the return certified mail. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I find the property remains in violation of City Code 18265, but has complied with all other code sections cited in the notice. I'll allow 10 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $200 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 11, 4011 36th Court, CE 22040188.
Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 4011 36th Court was cited on 4/15 of 22. The property and City Hall were posted on 4/18 of 22, and certified mail was sent on 4/18 of 22. The certified mail was returned. However, I've had contact with the property manager, Clem. 4011 36th Court, as well as 1001 36th Street were cited to clean half of the cul-de-sac. 1001 36th Street has completed their half. However, 4011 36th Court hasn't. The city is asking for an additional 10 days or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Officer, do you, have record of an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes.
Does that affidavit of posting accurately reflect that the notice of violation was also sent via regular mail?
Yes.
And can you describe, we've been looking at some photographs during your testimony, what is it that you're observing at the property that you believe is in violation? Can you please describe a little bit?
So there's a lot of trash and litter at the end of the street, which is a cul-de-sac. So both properties are responsible for cleaning half of it. The right section has been cleaned, as you can see in those pictures. It was cut and the garbage was removed from that section. However, the section belonging to 4011 36th Court is still overgrown, and there's still a lot of trash and debris.
Thank you. And the photographs, do they accurately represent your observations, just as you've testified?
Yes.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, and photographs.
Thank you.
That is granted. City has proper notice in this case with the certified mail and the posting. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I find the property remains in violation as cited. I will allow 10 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $100 per day are assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 12 is complied, 633 35th Street, CE 22030378. Number 13, 3017 Pinewood Avenue, CE 22030466.
Good morning.
Good morning.
J. Francis, West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. 30117 Pinewood Ave was cited on 3/24/22. Certified mail sent on 3/25/22. Both the property and City Hall were posted on 4/20/22. The affidavit of posting was completed. This property was cited for outside storage and swale and parkway. I've been in contact with the property owner. As of this morning, the property has come in compliance with the outside storage, but not the swale and parkway. Therefore, the city is asking for an additional 30 days for them to come into compliance. If they do not come into compliance, then the city is asking for a $50 a day fine until compliance is achieved.
What was the dollar amount?
50.
50, thank you.
Officer, with respect to your affidavit of posting, does it accurately reflect that the notice of violation was also sent via regular mail?
Yes, ma'am.
With respect to your testimony, we've been also looking at some photographs while you were testifying. What is it about the swale and parkway that you believe is in violation?
In the swale, they actually have bricks in the swale.
And what are you observing? I'm sorry, did you say bricks?
Yes.
Ah, okay. And what is it about bricks? Those are not allowed in the swale? Or?
No, the swale should be sodded.
Very good. And do the pictures accurately reflect your observations of this violation?
Yes.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, affidavit of posting, certified mailing documents, and photographs.
All right, that is granted. City has proper notice with the certified mail and the posting, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation of City Code 94-442A, but has complied with City Code 94-71C. I will allow 30 additional days to cure the outstanding violation. After that, daily fines of $50 per day are assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 14, 13, 15 Worthington Street, CE 22030215. Morning. It was number 14, 1350 Worthington Street.
Morning, Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. Property 1315 Worthington Street was initially cited on 3/12/22. Certified mail was sent on 3/14/22. We do have a signed certified mail receipt on file. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted on 3/14/22. Property was cited for 18162 rental license, 2232A certificate of use, 74-34A-1-J garbage can placement, 94482A parking requirements where the parking area was in disrepair. Also, parking onto unapproved surfaces. Property was also cited for 94487B-5, screening of a trailer that's parked in front of the property, and also 94-71-C outdoor storage. As of last evening, the following sections have complied: 74-34-A-1-J, 94-482-A, and 94-71-C. I actually met with the owner of the property there at the property. We did discuss all of the violations. He did indicate that he was going to comply. But again, as of last evening, the rental license has not been obtained. And also 94-487-B-5, the trailer that's parked out front still remains. So in light of that, the city would like to give them 20 additional days in order to comply, or a fine of $150 per day be imposed.
And the certificate of use is still outstanding as well, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Officer, does your file reflect that an executed affidavit of posting is in the file?
Yes, it does.
Does that affidavit of posting accurately reflect that the notice of violation was also sent via certified mail?
Yes.
The photographs that we've been reviewing during your testimony, do they accurately reflect your observations of the violations on the property?
Yes, they do.
When you met with the property owner, did that property owner deny that the property was being rented?
No, he couldn't deny it because as we were walking the property talking, the tenant came outside and then he proceeded to advise the tenant that, they needed to clean up the outside as well as remove. He gave them instructions to remove the trailer from the property altogether. And so, they kind of, I don't think they were finished discussing that, but at any rate, and he did introduce the lady there as the tenant of the property.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record. The city has proper notice with the received certified mail, even though the respondent is not present at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property remains in violation of City Code Sections 18162A, 2232A, and 94487B5, but has complied with the other code sections that were cited in the notice. I will allow 20 additional days to comply with the outstanding violations. After that, daily fines of $150 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 15, 210 Clematis Street, CE 22030371.
Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. Property 210 Clematis Street was initially cited on 3/22/22. Certified mail was sent on 3/23/22. We do have a signed certified receipt on file. The City Hall was posted on 3/23/22, and also I hand delivered the message. I hand delivered the notice rather to the manager on duty there by the name of Ronnie, and we did discuss the violation of the property. The property was cited for 18105J, non-residential painting required. I did subsequently speak with the owner of the property via the phone. He indicated that it's going to require more time in order to comply. I advised him that the city was willing to give him the additional 60 days in order to comply. The property next to this particular property was cited also for painting of the rear of the structures in the alleyway. And that particular property is going to have to go out and get bids for scaffolding because it's like a 3-level building. And so they kind of wanted to make this happen all at the same time. And so they are working together on that. And so as a result of that, the city is willing to give them the additional 60 days. If they don't comply within that 60 days, the city is asking for a fine of $150 per day be imposed until compliance is achieved.
Officer, does the record reflect that regular mail was also sent?
Yes, it does.
Does the record reflect that an executed affidavit of posting is done and in the file?
Yes.
And during your testimony, we were reviewing photographs. Do those photographs accurately reflect your observations of the violations on the property?
Yes, those photos are as recent as last evening.
Thank you. And Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record. The city has proper notice with the certified mail and the hand delivery. In this case, based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation. I always like to hear when folks are working together to try and solve their problems.
Absolutely.
We'll do 60 days to comply. After that, daily fines of $150 per day until compliance is achieved.
Number 16, 120 South Dixie Highway, CE 22040078.
Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. Property 120 South Dixie was initially cited on 4/8/22. Certified mail was sent on 4/11/22. Certified mail was returned. The property as well as City Hall was posted on 4/11/22. Property was cited for 18103I, equipment maintenance, 18106A, clean and sanitary, and 94-105-C, outdoor storage. I have not had any contact with the owner or the property manager. All of the violations as of last evening still remain outstanding. The city's requesting 30 days in order to comply, or a fine of $150 per day be imposed.
Officer, does your record reflect that an executed affidavit of posting has been completed and in the file?
Yes, it does.
Does that affidavit accurately reflect that the notice of violation was also sent via regular mail?
Yes.
we've been reviewing photos during your testimony. Can you please describe a little bit about what your observations are of the violations that lead you to believe there are violations on the property?
Sure. With regard to 18103I, a portion of the drainage piping extending from the roof literally is kind of just laying there in the alleyway. 18106A, there's just kind of trash and debris. I can't even speak right now, excuse me. Trash and debris that's along the rear of the property and also on the sides of the property. And there's outdoor storage that needs to be removed from public view.
And the photographs we've been reviewing, do those accurately reflect your observations of the outdoor storage items that you're seeing, as well as the nature of the trash and debris and the broken pipe on the property?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
All right, thank you. That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record. The city has proper notice in this case. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, allow 30 additional days to cure the outstanding violations. After that, daily fines of $150 per day are assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 21 is complied, 1021 The Point Drive, CE 22030102. Number 22, 4163 North Haverhill Road, 1212, CE 22030133.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On March 8th, the property at 4163 North Haverhill Road, Unit 1212, was cited for a certificate of use rental license violation. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted March 14th. Affidavit of posting is attached in the case notes. Certified mail as well as regular mail was mailed on March 9th. Certified mail was signed for March 11th. I did confirm with management that the unit is indeed being rented. I have received no contact with the property owner. With that being said, city's recommending 30 days to bring the property into compliance, or $200 a day until compliance is achieved.
All right.
Officer, the photographs that we've been reviewing, do those accurately reflect the unit that we're talking about and the posting of the property?
Correct.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record. The city has proper notice in this case with the signed certified mail, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, find the property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation in this case, allow 30 additional days to cure the outstanding violations. After that, daily fines of $200 per day are assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 23 is complied, 5142 Palmbrook Circle, CE 22030527. Number 24, 5865 Caribbean Boulevard, 2602, CE 22040003.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On April 1st, the business Sleepy Never Entertainment LLC that is operating from 5865 Caribbean Boulevard, Unit 2602, was cited for certificate of use and business tax receipt violation. This is a renewal. The property was posted as well as City Hall on April 15th. Affidavit of posting is also attached in the case notes. Certified mail as regular mail was sent to the tenant as well as the property owner on April 1st, 2022. Certified mail was received April 6th. The property has since come into compliance on April 28th. Reinspection and compliance date was scheduled for April 19th. With that being said, city is recommending a finding of fact on this particular case.
Officer, do the photographs that we've been reviewing during your testimony accurately reflect the unit and the posting of the unit?
Correct. There's also additional attachments in the case notes reflecting the expired license and the time of payment of that expired license as well.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, all certified mailings, affidavit of posting, photographs, as well as the documentation per the officer regarding the status of the business tax and payment.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record. The city has proper notice in this case. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find that the property was in violation as cited, came into compliance, but the compliance did not occur within the time specified in the notice, so a finding of fact is issued in this case.
Number 25, 721 Village Boulevard, 107D, CE 22040007.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On April 2nd, the establishment European Wax Center located at 721 Village Boulevard, Unit 107D was cited for business tax receipt and certificate of use. The business was posted as well as the property and City Hall on April 18th. Affidavit of posting has been submitted into case notes. Certified mail and regular mail was sent to the tenant as well as the property owner on April 4th. Certified mail was received April 9th. As of this morning, no action has been taken by European Wax Center to renew their business tax receipt. It's still delinquent. I've made several attempts to make contact with this in particular business owner. I've sent emails, I've called, I've visited in person. I also reached out to the property management of the plaza, and to no avail, no action has been taken. With that being said, city's recommending 10 days to bring the business tax receipt into compliance, or a one-time fine of $250 be assessed, and $100 a day to run on the COU until this has been satisfied.
Officer, during your testimony, we've been reviewing photos. Do those accurately reflect the unit and business that you've been testifying to, as well as the posting of the property?
Correct.
Thank you.
I've also connected to my case notes the email that I attempted to send to ownership, and I've also depicted the expired license as well.
Thank you. And your observation at the property is that the European Wax Center is still open and operating. Is that accurate?
Correct. As of Monday, yes.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, all certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, photographs, as well as the emails that the officer testified to, and the copy of the document showing the expired business tax.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record in this case. The city has proper notice with the received certified mail. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. Allow 10 days for the violations to be cured. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved with City Code 2232A. One-time fine of $250 is assessed for violation of City Code 82144.
Thank you.
Number 26, 525 Churchill Road, E CE 22030317.
Good morning. Richard Pasmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited on March 18th, 2022. Certified mail was sent out March 22nd. It was signed received March 25th. And in addition, the property and City Hall were both posted on March 23rd. Affidavit of posting is in the attachments. This property was cited for clean and sanitary conditions, trash and debris on the property, rental license violation, certificate of use required, junk abandoned vehicles, landscaped areas must be grass, landscape maintenance, unpaved parking, vehicle repair done in residential district, screen restricted vehicles, and outdoor storage. I've had no contact. In our system, the owner has applied for the rental license and paid the fees. They have not reached out to schedule the inspections. And as of yesterday, Code Section 34102A, 94482A, 94485A, and 9471C have come into compliance. The photos show those in compliance. The remaining code sections are still in violation. The city is recommending 30 additional days or a fine of $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Officer, does the affidavit of posting accurately reflect that regular mail was also sent?
Yes.
We've been reviewing photographs during your testimony. Do those photographs accurately represent your observations of the alleged violations on the property?
Yes, they do.
With respect to, I'm not sure if I caught which ones are still outstanding. For the outstanding violations, could you just briefly testify more about your observations of what makes them violations?
Yeah, so the remaining violations are trash and debris still on the property, unsanitary conditions in the common areas, the driveway, the sidewalks, the walkways. The rental license and certificate of use has not been obtained because they have not had an inspection. The landscaped areas where cars were being parked, there's dead grass that needs to be sodded. Landscape maintenance on the sidewalk, there's weeds and grass overgrown and not being maintained. And the screening restricted vehicle, there's a boat parked in the driveway with no screening from the abutting properties.
Thank you very much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, photographs, and the rental application.
That is approved. Those documents are made part of the record. With received certified mail, the city has proper notice even though the respondent is not present at today's hearing. Clarify for me, did the screening of restricted vehicles comply, or is that still outstanding?
It's still outstanding. There's boats being kept in the driveway still. Unscreened.
Tell me again the ones that complied, because I accidentally put that one as complied.
Junk abandoned vehicle has been complied.
Got it.
Unpaved parking, 94482A.
Got it.
Vehicle repair, 94485A.
Got it.
And outdoor storage,
Okay.
9471C.
I marked screening restricted vehicles instead of outdoor storage by mistake. Okay. Based on the testimony and the evidence, then I do find the property remains in violation as cited, except that the property has complied with city codes 34102A, 94482A, 94485A, and 9471C. I will allow 30 additional days to cure the outstanding violations. After that, daily fines of $100 are assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 27, 1000 West Lakewood Road, CE 22030370.
Richard Pasmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited March 22nd, 2022. Certified mail was sent out March 23rd. It was signed, received on March 26th. Certified mail. And the property and City Hall were both posted on March 23rd. Affidavit of posting is in the file. It's been completed. This property was cited for broken windows, clean and sanitary condition, and trash and debris on the property. Rental license needed to be updated, a name change. Junk, abandoned vehicles, commercial enclosure for the garbage can. Landscape maintenance, pave and mark parking. The driveway needs to be resurfaced. It has a lot of potholes. Outdoor storage. I have been in contact with the property management company. As of yesterday, the property looks unchanged, but they say they are working on the issues. They're waiting for bids and whatnot. They have applied for the rental license, but they need an inspection still. The property management company has requested more time. With that being said, the city's recommending 60 days or an increase, a fine of $250 a day.
All right, is the rental license violation complied, or are they working on it?
They're working on it.
Okay.
They need an inspection.
But it's still in violation?
Yes.
It's not cleared. Okay, thank you.
Officer, does the affidavit of posting accurately reflect that regular mail was also sent?
Yes.
With respect to the garbage enclosure and landscaping and junk and abandoned vehicles, could you please testify a little bit more in relation to what you're observing?
The garbage enclosure, it needs to be closed at all times. They're maintaining it open. It does look damaged, and it needs to be repaired and kept closed at all times. Landscape maintenance, there's weeds within the sidewalk. The palm trees are touching the structure, dead palms. And
For the junk and abandoned vehicles, are there one vehicle or more than one? And what makes them junk or abandoned?
so there were vehicles with expired tags, flat tires, and they come and go. So at different times they're.
Thank you. And do the photographs that we've been reviewing during your testimony accurately reflect your observations of the violations on the property?
Yes, they do.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, photographs, and the rental license application.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record. City has proper notice with the received certified mail, even though the respondent is not present at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find the property remains in violation as cited. I will allow 60 additional days to cure the outstanding violations. After that, daily fines of $250 per day are assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 28, 951 Alamonda Road, CE 22030487.
This case has complied and it has been closed.
Number 29, 730 Bunker Road, CE 22040090.
This case also complied and has been closed.
Number 30, 1109 Summit Boulevard, CE 22040092.
Richard Pasmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited on April 9th, 2022. Certified mail was sent out April 11th. It was received April 13th. In addition, the notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on April 11th, and regular mail was also sent. This property was cited for a rental license required, certificate of use required, inoperative vehicle being parked and stored on the property. Landscape area must be grass, landscape maintenance, and outdoor storage. So there's a vehicle being kept and parked on the grass that has no tag that makes it inoperable. And the grass is dying because of that parked vehicle. And then the landscape maintenance, the hedges, the grass are all unmaintained and overgrown. And outdoor storage, there, in the photos, it reflects, there's a lot of storage out on the porch, by the front door, and in the carport. I just had contact this morning with the owner. She was not aware of the violations or the notice. I emailed it, all the information this morning. She admitted that the property is a rental, and she's asking for more time. The city's recommending 45 additional days or a fine of $100 a day.
Officer, is there an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes, there is.
And thank you. And do the photos that we've been reviewing during your testimony accurately reflect your observations of the violations on the property?
Yes, they do.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record with the received certified mail. The city has proper notice, even though the respondent is not present at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence I've reviewed, I find property remains in violation as cited. I will allow 45 additional days to cure the outstanding violations. After that, daily fines of $100 per day are assessed until compliance is achieved.
Number 31, 1457th Street, CE 220202120.
Good morning, Officer Luster, West Palm Code Enforcement. This property was cited on 2/7/2022. Certified mail was signed on 2/11/2022. Property and City Hall was posted on 4/19/2022. Property was cited for replacement of rotten wood around fascia, cleaning sanitary conditions and regarding pressure cleaning driveway and/or sidewalk, painting of home, junk inoperable vehicle, garbage can placement, overgrowth, cleaning up one half of easement, numbering standards, and parking on swell and parkway and unpaved parking. What has complied on the property is address characters, the unpaved parking on swell and property has complied, overgrowth, and the clean and sanitary condition of the driveway and sidewalk. The remaining violations are the fascia still needs to be replaced even though they painted it. The junk and operable vehicle has no tag and it has a busted rear window and rear windshield. Let's see, and the garbage can placement. I'm asking for 30 more days or $50 per day after. I've had no contact with owner or tenant, and I do know it's rental property.
So there's only 3 outstanding violations?
Yes, sir.
at this point? Okay, thanks.
Officer, is there an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that affidavit accurately reflect that the notice of violation was also sent via regular mail?
Yes, ma'am.
And during your testimony, we were reviewing the alleged violations that you were talking about. Do those photographs accurately reflect your observations of the violations on the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record. City has proper notice with the received certified mail, even though the respondent is not present at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property has complied with all code sections cited in the notice except City Code 18103B, City Code 34102A, and City Code 7434A1J. I will allow 30 additional days to comply. After that, daily fines of $50 per day are assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 32, 1512 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, E CE 22020159.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. This property certified mail was returned to us on 2/18/2022. Property was posted on City Hall, and property was posted on 4/13/2022. I've had no contact with the tenant, but I have had contact with the property owner, and property was cited for safe egress, clean and sanitary conditions, trash, litter, and debris, landscape maintenance, rental license, lighting standards, certificate of use, garbage can placement, cleaning up one half of easement, fence repair, landscaping all open spaces, landscaping of swell, and unpaved parking. Violations that remain outstanding are landscaping of swell, landscaping of all open spaces, rental license, certificate of use, unpaved parking, all remain outstanding. All other violations are in compliance.
Did you say landscaping the swale was still in violation?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And I spoke to Miss Maggie, that's a part owner of the property, and she has applied for the rental license as of 4/27/2022. Not had an inspection as of yet.
Officer, is an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that affidavit of posting accurately reflect that the notice of violation was also sent out via regular mail?
Yes, ma'am.
And with respect to the testimony about the remaining alleged violations, do the photographs that we've been reviewing during your testimony accurately reflect the alleged violations on the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, photographs, and the rental application.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record. The city has proper notice in this case, even though the respondent is not present at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find that the property remains in violation of City Code 18106M, 18162A, 2232A, 94442E, and 94482A. I believe those are the correct numbers that correspond with the ones that are still outstanding.
Yes, sir.
We'll find the property has complied with the other code sections that were cited in the notice. What was your recommendation?
It was 30 days or $50 per day.
30 and 50. I will accept that recommendation, allow 30 additional days for compliance to be achieved. After that, daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 33, 1366 10th Street, CE 22020218.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Certified mail was signed on 2/22/22. Property and City Hall was posted on 4/13/2022. This property was cited for safe egress, roof replacement and/or repair, cleaning up one half of easement, unpaved parking, outdoor storage, and that's it. I met the owner at property. He has been in litigation with the insurance company in regarding to replacing the roof. He's been in that for about 4 to 5 months with them. He's hoping that it will come to fruition soon. He's asking for 6 more months in order to get the roof actually replaced, or $50 per day. Violations that are still outstanding is the roof and the unpaved parking. He will have to get a permit pulled to pour the approach, which is the apron, which is between the sidewalk and the road. And he's asking for the 6 more months. All other violations are in compliance.
Officer, is there an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that affidavit of posting accurately reflect that the notice of violation that was sent via certified mail was also sent via regular mail?
Yes, ma'am.
And it was the notice of violation that was posted at the property in City Hall, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. During your testimony, we were reviewing photographs of the remaining violations on the property. Did those photographs accurately reflect your observations of the property violations?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record. The city has proper notice with the signed certified mail, even though the respondent is not present at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find the property remains in violation of City Code 18103B and 94482A. City has no objection to the 6 months?
No, sir.
Okay, then I will allow 6 months for those violations to be complied, properly permitted and inspected and complied. After that, daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 34, 1338 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, CE 220202223.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Certified mail was signed on 2/18/2022. Property and City Hall was posted on 4/13/2022. Property was cited for a replacement of rotten wood around utility storage room. External windows and doors of that utility room needed to be replaced. Painting of property, garbage can placement, cleaning up one half of easement, vehicles stored on public right-of-way without proper tag, with no tag, unpaved parking, and outdoor storage. The remaining violations for this property is to resurface the driveway. All other violations are in full compliance. I have spoke and met with the owner at the property, and she's asking for 40 more days or $50 per day after to come into compliance.
How many days?
40.
40?
Yes, sir. You got to find someone to actually go in there and resurface the driveway.
Is that going to require a permit to fix
Not
it?
to resurface it.
Okay, so
It's
40 days is plenty of time.
it's
And what was the
sufficient.
daily number, fine amount you want?
$50.
Okay, that makes sense.
Officer, is there an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that affidavit accurately reflect that the notice of violation that was sent via certified mail and which was posted was also sent via regular mail?
Yes, ma'am.
And with respect to the remaining violation, the photographs that we've been reviewing during your testimony, do those photographs accurately reflect your observations of the violations on the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record. In this case, city has proper notice with the certified mail and the posting, even though the respondent is not present at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation of City Code 94482A. I'll allow 40 additional days to cure that violation, or daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved. All other violations were cured.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Number 35, 711 Division Avenue, CE 222020397.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Certified mail was signed on 3/4/2022. Property in City Hall was posted on 4/21/2022. This property was cited for delinquent rental license and certificate of use. I do know tenants remain in the unit. I'm asking for 10 days or $50 per day after.
Officer, is there an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that affidavit accurately reflect that the notice of violation was also sent via regular mail?
Yes, ma'am.
With respect to the photographs that we've been reviewing, do those accurately reflect the posting and any observations on the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any kind of payment or further application submitted to the city?
Well, it's just a delinquent license. It's on the delinquent license list, and it's just not been paid.
Okay. Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record. In this case, The city has proper notice, even though the respondent is not present at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation. It's not the typical ask on these cases.
It's a renewal. So once the renewal goes, I just do the 10 days.
Okay. And I'm happy to oblige that. 10 days to comply, and after that, daily fines of $50 per day.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 36, 1387th Street, CE 220300052.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Certified mail was returned to us on 3/10/2022. It also was received and signed on 3/4/2022. City Hall was posted and property was posted on 4/19/2022. The violations are as follows. Rental license and certificate of use do not apply. Property owner actually reside in the unit now. Numbering standards and unpaved parking. The outstanding violation is the unpaved parking, and they will need a permit to install the driveway. The permit has been applied for as of 4/25/2022. The owner is asking for 60 days to come into full compliance with that, or $50 per day.
Officer, is there an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that affidavit of posting accurately reflect that the notice of violation was also sent via regular mail?
Yes, ma'am.
And regarding your testimony, we've been reviewing photographs while you testified. Do those accurately represent your observations of any alleged violations and also the posting of the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
As granted, those documents are made part of the record. So the certified mail was returned, and then it was sent again, and it was received?
Yes, well, I did it backwards. The actual certified mail was signed on 3/4, and then we sent it back out for some reason, and it returned to us on 3/10 as not signed.
Well, you got proper notice then
But I
with the signed certified mail and the posting.
Yes.
If it was returned. So either way, you're good, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation. As cited, I'll allow 60 days to comply. After that, daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Number 37, 1412 8th Street, CE 220300062.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Certified mail was signed on 3/9/2022. City Hall and property was posted on 4/19/2022. This is for rental license and certificate of use, and it is a delinquent license, and I'm asking for 10 more days or $50 per day, and yes, tenant does reside on site. Have not had any contact with anyone, but I do know the tenants reside there.
Officer, was an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that accurately reflect in the affidavit that regular mail was also sent?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And the photographs that we've been reviewing, do those accurately reflect the address that we're speaking about and the posting of the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and photographs.
As granted, those documents are made part of the record. The city has proper notice with certified mail and posting, even though the respondent is not present at today's hearing. I will find the property remains in violation as cited. Allow 10 days to comply. After that, daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Okay, and lastly, number 39, 401 North Rosemary Avenue, CE 220300525.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. This property certified mail was received on 4/2022. Property business was posted and City Hall on 4/21/2022. This is a business tax receipt, and I'm asking for the one-time fine of $250. The actual posting was did at the business. I spoke with the property manager, And it is a satellite business where they only basically get their mail and have a computer there when they need usage. But not, the license has not been paid for, so I'm asking for the $250 one-time fine.
Say that again? Sorry.
I'm asking for the $250 one-time fine.
Thank you.
Officer, is there an executed affidavit of posting in the file?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that affidavit of posting accurately reflect that the notice of violation was also sent via regular mail?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. We've been reviewing the photograph. Does that accurately represent the unit or tenant that you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am. It actually depicts the business that I was posting at that site.
Very good. Thank you so much. Special Magistrate, the city would like to submit as evidence a copy of the notice of violation, certified mailing documents, affidavit of posting, and any photographs.
That is granted. Those documents are made part of the record in this case. City has proper notice even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, we'll find the property remains in violation as cited and impose a one-time fine of $250.
Thank you. Have a great day.
I think that concludes the 9 o'clock agenda. It's 11:30 now. Do we need to take, anybody need a break before we bang out the lien reductions?
Yeah, we'll go straight through.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll right into the 11:30 agenda. There are 3 agenda items that cover, looks like 2 separate properties here for lien reduction. If you're going to be speaking to me and you were not here, and I'm sure none of you guys were here at 9 o'clock when we started the other agenda, I do need to swear everybody in. If you're going to be speaking to me, please stand, raise your right hand. I can swear everyone in together. Do each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay. And sir, you're not going to be speaking on a case today? Okay.
Apparently, they own all 3 properties, so.
Okay.
2 properties.
Well, then why don't you come
I
up
mean,
to the
2 properties,
podium? You can come on up to the podium to my right. I'm going to hear from the city first. The city's going to give me some background information on the cases. After that, I will come back over to you folks. You can tell me about the request for the lien reductions. And after I've heard from everybody and considered everything, I will enter in order that resolves the matter in some form or fashion today. So,
Do you want to hear them one at a time? Or,
so you guys are here for all 3 of the, both properties?
2 properties, 3 liens.
366 Colonial and 808 Hanson.
Correct.
All right. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and put all 3 of them on the record?
Okay.
And we'll just kind of take care of them like that.
Case number 1 is 366 Colonial Road, CE 18090325. It was originally cited for a green pool, exterior repair, landscape maintenance, paint, junk vehicle, outdoor storage, unsanitary conditions, trash and debris, fence repair, and expired permit. Date audit was 12/5/2018. Complied by 1/6/2019. Fine started on 1/7/2019. Was $500 a day, I think because of the pool and the fence being in disrepair. Number of days was 1,138 days. It complied on 2/18/2022. Current fine is $569,000. The second.
Before you go to the, well, it's the same property. Go ahead and go ahead.
The second case on Colonial Road is CE 171000164, cited for overgrowth, board insecure, and unsafe pool. His date audit was 11/1/17 to comply by 11/30/17. Fine started on 12/1/2017. It was $100 a day. It ran for 1,034 days. It complied on 9/30/2020. The current total fine is $103,400 on that case. These are new owners, by the way, on all of these cases. They weren't the owners during the violations.
Okay, go ahead and give me the background on 808 Hanson, too.
Okay. 808 Hanson, case number CE 171000350. Property was cited for overgrowth, landscape maintenance, boarding certificate, outdoor storage, unpaid parking, trash and debris, and a junk vehicle. Date audit was 12/6/2017 to comply by 2/4/2018. Fine started on 2/5/2018, was a $100 a day fine, ran for 941 days. Current fine, $94,100. The comply date was 9/3/2020.
Okay. Does the city have a recommendation in each of the three?
Being that it's a new owner, I would recommend a reduction of 85%. For the case ending in 325 that has the large lien, 569,000, that would, I'll round it down to $85,000 at 85% reduction. It's a little bit more than 85%. For the other case on Colonial, it's 103,400. I'd also go 85%. That would be 15,000 if I round that one down, so it's a little bit more than 85%. For Hanson, that one's 94,100. Also 85% reduction would take it down to $14,000 if it's rounded down. If I round it down, it's 14,000 and change.
Okay. You have the PAPA printouts for these?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, why don't you go ahead and put your names and address on the record, and then you can tell me about the request.
My name is Hector Cabrera, 348 Davis Road, Palm Springs, Florida, 33461.
My name is Janiel Alvarez, 2700 Ranch House Road, West Palm Beach, 33406.
Okay, and it looks like you guys acquired these properties in July of last year, July of 2020.
Correct.
Almost 2 years ago.
Almost
Okay.
2 years.
Yeah, but long after the violations occurred. That's a 2017 case, that's a 2018 case, and that's a 2017 case.
Special Magistrate, can we just confirm their relation to the property?
The owners.
The owners, please.
Okay. And I'm sorry, so I didn't catch your names, gentlemen. It was very difficult.
Oh, my name is Janiel Alvarez and Hector Cabrera.
Okay. So you're the current owners?
Yes.
Yeah, we're partners.
Partners.
Okay, so I have the current owners in the property tax appraiser as Yanelis Diaz and Jaime Sanchez for the Hanson Street.
That's the one for Hanson Street.
Oh.
That's his wife.
Okay. And then for, I have Yanel and Son Construction.
It's me.
For three, okay, very good
Correct.
then.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
All right, whoever wants to speak first, go right ahead.
Hector can help me, John.
Yeah, I'll try to do the best I can here.
Yes.
So we purchased this property almost 2 years ago. Immediately, we went ahead and repaired all the violations that were occurring on the property. I think one of the inspectors went out and checked it out. Everything looked good. I don't know why the numbers kept going up because we cleared it up, but we still had permit issues and stuff like that. So we were dealing with those things. Permitting, it was taking a lot of time, so that held us back quite a bit. And then also we ran into the COVID situation. And like I said, everything was, just kept adding on. Now, at the same time, $500 a day violation is a big number, when normally I see $50 and $100, and that's, I guess, why the reason the number got so high. That's not an excuse, but we did take care of it as soon as possible. We didn't only take care of it, we made the house very beautiful for the area. And we're asking for a substantial reduction if possible. I think we put on the application, that we wanted to settle at $5,000. I know that they're asking a lot of money, but.
Did you have to cure the violations at both addresses?
Yes.
So let's talk about 366 Colonial. Tell me what you had to do to cure that. Like, what was your investment to renovate the property and get it fixed up and not a violation? And
tell them what we did.
Yeah, we put the permit. We had to put permit for windows, doors, roof, stucco. We had to do everything on the house. Plus the exterior, we had to refacing the pool too. So we do a lot of work.
Notice that house had a swimming pool. Did you have to do work on the swimming pool?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we spent almost close to 200,000.
200,000?
Yeah.
Correct. The house was in pretty bad shape.
Everything. We had to do a new landscaping, sprinkler system, because the previous owner got completely damaged, the house. So to make it nice, we had to work a lot. And for these 2 years, trust me, because we had the money, we had to wait, so collect some money and put more money, and keep going,
So.
Okay, then tell me same thing about 808 Hanson Street.
In Hanson, we had to do the same thing. We had to do the stucco, windows, doors, fence. We had to do the landscaping too. We had to do everything.
Okay.
Because the house was completely damaged.
What was your investment on that property?
Almost 150.
150,000?
We thought it's less, but when we started spending, oh my God, the money go more.
Okay. And the properties were still accruing liens when you bought them? They were still in violation?
Yes.
Everything is 100% now.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. The city have anything to add to this?
Nope.
All right, anything else you guys would like to tell me?
No, I guess.
Try to help us.
Yeah, please help us, but you can.
The best you can, please.
Okay.
I think it was still accruing fees even after we cleaned it up, but I think since we didn't have it all finalized, they would not stop the fee process.
Were either of these, I know this are new owners, but were these properties particularly problematic for the city? It seemed like the daily fines were pretty high. Were they?
Yeah, I think, like I said, with the $500 a day, I think it was because it was a green pool, and then it was a fence in disrepair. So I guess there's a worry about a child getting into a pool. Okay. So I think that's why it was such a large fine. But
can you tell? Did the order in, especially the doesn't look like 808 Hanson had a codes violation regarding the pool, but on 366 Colonial, did the order give the city abatement authority, or did it not just assess daily fines?
On case ending in 325, it was no abatement. It was just 30 days or $500 a day.
What about the one ending in 164?
164. Yeah, it was $30 or $100 for 18265, which would be I think the boarding boarding of the building. All others, 5 days or abatement.
Okay. And it looks like the property was vacant at that time, and there's a code, one of the code sections I have is secure vacant property, so is it unoccupied?
Yeah, I'd say the Colonial Road with the board and secure was probably vacant at that
Yeah.
time.
And Hanson, did that have any kind of abatement authority attached to it, or was it strictly comply by a date and then assess daily fines?
What I'm seeing on the history here is $60 or $100 a day for all violations except 18215B and 9471C. So I don't see any abatement on it.
Okay. And that one looks like there was probably people living in it based on the type of violations that were cited. I'm guessing, I don't know. Parking and outdoor storage and stuff like that. Okay, based on those questions that I just raised, is either the applicant or the city have anything else that you want to put on the record?
No, sir.
No? Okay, then here's what I'm going to do in this case. I appreciate that, you guys are new owners. You obviously, at least what I've been presented with, you invested a lot of resources to get the properties into compliance. I am going to reduce, in each of the three cases, I'm going to reduce the fines to $5,000. So that's $5,000, so a total of $10,000 for the 366 Colonial cases, and then $5,000 for the 808 Hanson. How long will it take you to pay that?
Right now, you can.
I'll put 30 days on the order.
Okay.
Or the orders. And there you go.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you very much.
Special
Thank you,
Magistrate.
Special Magistrate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, I think that's everything on the agenda. Is there anything else we need to do this morning? And it is 11:48. We've concluded our business, so we stand adjourned.